It's really a mixed emotion. Siyempre, mahal ko tong pamilya ng AMRSP, no? Mahal ko tong kahabit na naging produkto ng serbisyo natin sa AMRSP. And hindi ganun kadaling makalimot, sabi niya, lalo na ang isang pusong nagmamahal. So, nalulungkot ako kasi yung nakasanayan kong gawin saka yung mga bagay na minahal ko ay pansamantala ko munang iiwan.
Pansamantala.
Mabuhay Pilipinas and hello to the rest of the world.
Welcome to your new companion in looking at the church from the world and the society from the religious point of view. This is your kahabit, Father Toots Buenafe from the Order of Carmelites.
Join us for our weekly dose of inspiration and information straight from the consecrated men and women in the Philippines. I am your kahabit, Sister Happy Montecillo of the Daughters of St. Anne.
And we are
The Habits! Wow, parang kailan lang? I remember it was in January.
Oo nga, sister, guest nyo ako.
Yes.
January nga yun.
At even at that time, hindi pa namin alam that you will be the next co-executive secretary.
Kaya nga, Sister Happy, hindi ko talaga pa-imagine.
Parang you were just telling your story as a COVID survivor. Wow, and here you are.
Oo, magkahabit na tayo.
Siyempre naman, we belong to the same AMRSP,
Correct.
which is now CMSP. So, welcome back, Father Toots. Of course, last week we were together with Father Angel. It was a despedida kay Father Angel, and really he introduced you, or he informed everybody, parang welcome, Father Toots, officially to AMRSP.
Oo nga naman, nalungkot ako.
Bakit
na
naman?
Iniwan na tayo ni Father Angel. Pero masaya din tayo dahil alam natin, bagong misyon, no?
Yes.
At yun naman ang ating role sa buhay, sa simbahan, sa lipunan, misyonero ni Kristo.
Yes, and I think that's really our life.
Oo.
We come and go, they come and go, and here we are at this time, di ba?
Yes, yes.
So
True.
I think today we can, we know that this is your first time sa Habit Spoken, really as a host.
Hindi
di ba?
na-guest?
Co-host.
Hindi na-guest?
Hindi na-guest.
Oo nga, sister.
But for today, we are going to talk about something different. Ikaw naman ngayon ang sasalang sa ating Boka Bokasyon segment ng Habit Spoken episode natin for today. So, how do you feel right now?
Hindi ko alam.
Talaga?
Direct, ba't hindi nyo binarningan? Anyway, sister, sige. But I'm very happy to be back here at sa The Habits natin. At hindi na guest, pero partner tayo sa ating misyon dito sa AMRSP. At naniniwala tayo ang The Habits ay isang napakagandang platform para iparating natin sa simbahan, sa mga kababayan natin, kung sino tayo at anong ginagawa natin bilang mga consecrated men and women.
Wow!
It's happy to be here, to be with you sa The Habits.
And ayan, so mga kahabits, are you ready to get to know Father Toots today? Nako, ano kaya ang matutuklasan at matututunan natin bago mula sa buhay bokasyon ni Father Toots? Ungkatan ng pas na naman ito.
Pero sana ay gaya na ating naunang Boka Bokasyon with Happy and Angel, ay makapaghatid ako sa inyo ng inspirasyon na tumugon sa tawag ng Diyos to enter the religious life. At para mas malaman pa ang consecrated life sa Pilipinas, bisitahin lang ang ating social media accounts. First, go to facebook.com/amrsp.org, like and follow na para updated ka.
Maraming salamat din po sa patuloy na suporta sa ating online media ministry on Facebook. Magpasalamat sa mga hindi nag-skip ng ads habang nanonood natin mga Facebook videos. At syempre sa ating mga pinakamamahal na star senders. Thank you for almost 2,000 stars. And help us collect 10,000 stars. You can buy stars and send them to us during the live broadcast. You can also send animated virtual gifts attached to different star amounts that will appear in your streams. Dahil for every star we receive, we earn $0.01 US. What are you waiting for? Try sending stars now!
At mga kahabits, hindi lang tayo nasa Facebook. Watch and share our videos, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, AMRSP Media, to help us become monetized.
At bukod dyan ay mapapanood din tayo sa TV Maria every Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. with replays every Thursdays at 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. And now let's start the show with our information routine. Here is the religious reports.
Leading our stories today on the religious reports. AMRSP Online Biennial Convention Statement. The AMRSP released the statement of the recently concluded Joint Biennial Convention held online from April 28 to 30, participated by 275 major superiors and representatives of the member congregations, reflecting on the theme 50 sa limang siglo, 50 years of AMRSP on the 500th year of Christianity in the Philippines, celebrating the gift of consecrated life in mission at the service of God and of humanity. The statement tackled three salient points. First, the association being actualizers of synodality through a listening heart, affirmed by His Eminence Joao Bras Cardinal de Avis, Prefect of the Congregation for Institutes of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life, saying that the fidelity of consecrated life in the Philippines to its concern for and commitment to the poorest, a solidarity with the poor and vulnerable that is filled with joy, has grown over the past 500 years as it has encountered the joy of the gospel. This was also reaffirmed by Sister Mary Regina Quizon, RGS, a former co-chairperson of the AMRSWP, during her conference talk, highlighting the story of how, as a fraternal body, the AMRSP collectively responded to the challenges of the times, especially during the martial law years, from deep personal and common discernment and prayers of a listening heart.
Second, going into the deep as we recommit ourselves to the calling of our mission means to reestablish our identity of communion, moving away from isolationism, individualism, and racism towards an openness to a love without borders, with solidarity which enables us to see the other half of our soul in our brothers and sisters, quoting the sharing of Bishop Midfield B. Billones D.D., Auxiliary Bishop of Cebu, for the next 500 years of CMSP. Lastly, to dream together what the next 500 years will be like as a collective fraternal body, looking to the future with hope. As Cardinal de Avis said, the task before us is not an easy one, but a demanding and challenging one. It is a task that asks for everything, but at the same time offers us everything. The statement concluded with an affirmation that only with a listening heart in dreaming and walking together as a synodal body of collaborators can we, as a conference of major superiors in the Philippines, go out into the deep to transform and be transformed, together with the entire body of Christ in animating humanity. We trust in the Lord's word, do not fear, I am here, your Lord. More reports from the consecrated in the Philippines. AMRSP renames itself to Conference of Major Superiors in the Philippines. During its first online joint biennial convention held last 28 to 30 April 2021, the members of the Association of Major Religious Superiors in the Philippines, or AMRSP, overwhelmingly voted to rename itself to Conference of Major Superiors in the Philippines, or CMSP. The decision was a fruit of a long synodal process from the desire to use the more inclusive term consecrated persons in place of the limiting term religious. Besides the change in nomenclature, this renewal process will also entail the merger of the Association of Major Religious Superiors of Men and the Association of Major Religious Superiors of Women in the Philippines, both established in 1955 and canonically erected in 1956. The process of merger was explicitly supported by Cardinal Joao Bras de Aviz in his address to the AMRSP Joint Convention this year. With this decision, the Joint Executive Board and the Secretariat have commenced the processes for the canonical and civil recognition of the CMSP. The CMSP is grateful for the support it received from both the Holy See's Congregation for Institutes of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life and the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines. The CMSP is presently composed of 362 religious institutes and societies of apostolic life out of 453 congregations in the Philippines, representing 80% of the total institutes and societies present in the country.
And now, here's our reports from the Holy See and the Universal Church. Pope approved 7 new invocations to Litany of Saint Joseph. On the Feast of Saint Joseph, the Workers, Saturday, May 1st, the Vatican Congregation for Divine Worship and the Discipline of the Sacraments on Saturday introduced 7 new invocations to the Litany in honor of Saint Joseph with the approval of Pope Francis. With these additions, the invocations in the Litany of Saint Joseph now rise to 31. The new invocations, originally in Latin, translated in English, are as follows: Guardian of the Redeemer, Servant of Christ, Minister of Salvation, Support in Difficulties, and Patron of Exiles, Patron of the Afflicted, and Patron of the Poor. The congregation has also allowed the Bishops' Conference to add other invocations with which Saint Joseph is honored in their countries. Such additions, it said, should be made in the proper place and preserve the literary genre of the litany. We now move on to the reports from the Philippine Church. Basilan opens Father Roel Gallardo CMF's Cause of Martyrdom. The prelature of Isabela in Basilan opened the cause of beatification, or the first phase for sainthood, for another Claretian missionary servant of God, Father Roel Gallardo, who was taken hostage, tortured, and killed by the Abu Sayyaf 21 years ago. Isabela Bishop Leo Dalmau, also a Claretian missionary, presided the solemn Eucharistic celebration on the occasion of the launching of the Cause of Martyrdom at San Vicente Ferrer Church in Sumisip Town's Tumahubong Village in Basilan Province. Claretian Missionaries Provincial Superior Father Elias Ayuban Jr. recounted that Father Gallardo stood up for God, who was faithful to him until the last drop of his blood, when the priest refused to renounce his faith even under threat. The next phase is a declaration by the Vatican that the servant of God was a true martyr, and he will be granted the title Venerable. The next 2 steps are beatification and canonization.
More reports from the Philippine Church. Laudato Si Week 2021. The Global Catholic Climate Movement, Pilipinas, GCCM Pilipinas, as a core member of the CBCP National Laudato Si program, or CBCP NLSP, will spearhead the celebration of Laudato Si Week 2021 here in the Philippines, together with its partner organizations with the theme Celebrating Change in the Context of the 500 Years of the Arrival of Christianity on Our Shores, from May 16 to 24, 2021. Father Antonio Labiao Jr., CBCP NLSP Coordinator, said the lined-up activities aim to celebrate the Church's breakthrough and advances in bringing Laudato Si to life. This is also a time to reflect on what the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us and to inspire one another to move on in hope towards a future marked with a deeper love and reverence for life. The Laudato Si Week celebrates the 6th anniversary of Pope Francis' landmark encyclical letter, Laudato Si, on care for our common home, issued in 2015. That's it for our dose of stories from the consecrated life of the Church and the world.
Join us in our next episodes for more of the Religious Reports.
Mga ka-habits, welcome to our new episode of Habits Spoken. And for our episode today, we will get to know more about our new AMRSP Co-Executive Secretary, or CMSP. We invited him to our show to answer all our questions, which actually he is already the regular co-host, about his vocations and more. So what are we waiting for? Oras na para ipakilala ang tumanggap ng ating Boka Bokasyon Challenge. Maybe you already knew who he is in our posters and thumbnails, but still allow me to introduce him to you. We are honored to have with us again here in Habits Spoken, Father Christian Toots Buenafe of the Order of Carmelites. Yes, Father Toots?
Hello, Sister. Naku, iba pala ang feeling, no? Iba ang feeling na, naku, hindi pa naman ako handa. Hindi ako prepared.
You see, I have my kodigo. I have some questions for you. Talaga. So, simulan na natin ang tanungan, mga kahabits. This is our Habits Spoken episode titled Boka Bokasyon with Father Toots. So, Father Toots, since this episode is also a getting to know you episode, maganda sigurong bago pa tayo magsimulang alamin ang inyong vocation story, ay mas makilala pa namin kayo sa kung sino na kayo ngayon. Yung mga small facts and trivia about you, yung inyong interests and preferences, and many more. So for this part, ay tatawagin nating 50 in 5. Oh. Dahil po, 50 years na ang AMRSP, this year, ay meron tayong nakahandang 50 simple questions tungkol po sa inyo. At sa loob ng 5 minutes, ay sasagutin nyo ang lahat ng 50 questions na ito. Exciting! Ready ka na, Father Toots?
Naku, parang entrance examination po. Nervous ako. Ready na, Sister.
Okay, so let's start. Number 1, full name.
Christian Bagilud Buenafe.
Birthday.
April 25, 1966.
Birthplace.
Davao City.
Number of siblings.
2, because we're only 3.
Years of profession.
As a professed Carmelite, 29 years.
Wow. Languages spoken.
Oh, I speak English, my mother tongue, and Tagalog, Filipino, Cebuano, and Ilocano.
Wow. Your motto in life?
Life is beautiful.
Talents?
Naku, ang dami. I can sing, I can dance, I can criticize. And, I cook, I can cook.
Favorite colors?
Blue, red, orange, mukhang yun lang.
Favorite number?
7.
Favorite song?
Marami eh. Ano, Tagalog, English?
Depende po sa inyo.
Yung kinanta sa... Gusto ko talaga yung kinanta during the communion. During your 25 years.
Self-surrender.
Self-surrender, I like that.
Favorite artist?
Filipino o foreign?
Depende po sa inyo.
I am to music, so siguro Sister Narcisa Fernandez.
Wow. Favorite Filipino food?
Dinuguan at saka munggo.
Favorite Filipino dessert?
Leche flan.
Favorite foreign food?
Foreign food. Pizza.
Favorite drink or beverage?
Any cola. I won't
Favorite-
mention the brand.
Favorite restaurant to dine?
Baka i-promote. baka promotion ito. Diyan lang sa tabi-tabi.
Okay. Favorite TV series?
Ngayon, sa totoo lang, honestly, gusto ko ang Korean.
Okay. Favorite
Teleseries.
movie?
Marami. Kasi nasa media education ako. Pero ang The Sound of Music, kahit paulit-ulit ko, enjoy pa rin ako sa pakikinig.
Favorite life event or occasion?
Marami, syempre. But I would always treasure yung family. Occasions with the family.
Favorite sports?
Kasi asthmatic ako, I stopped running and yung mga masyado. So ano na lang ako, ano bang sports ko ngayon? Hindi ako ng tutong eats, baraha. Sa ngayon, pag-isipan ko pa.
Okay.
Walking, I walk.
Okay. Favorite place outside the country you've already visited?
Ma-amaze talaga ako sa Rome, kahit and Amsterdam, of course.
So
And Vienna, I like this place.
Favorite place here in the Philippines?
I was born in Davao City, of course. I like Davao, but I fell in love with, honestly, Puerto Princesa, Dumaguete, and Iloilo. And Baguio, of course.
Wow. Place here in the Philippines you wish to visit?
Batanes and Jolo. I have
Ay.
not been there
So,
yet.
country you wish to visit?
Gusto ko yung mga Kazakhstan, Nepal, or Pakistan, Afghanistan, yun North Korea, yun ang gusto kong puntahan.
Weirdest food you've already tried?
Yung different flavor ng mga cheese, na-overwhelm ako.
One thing that you are proud of?
Marami. Pero siguro sa aking Carmelite vocation.
Preferred footwear?
Birkenstock?
Preferred music genre?
Feeling artist kasi, so lahat ng genre.
Okay.
Kaya ko.
Preferred gadget?
Hindi masyado ako techie, pero okay na ako sa laptop.
Favorite character in the Bible?
Siyempre si Jesus.
Okay. Favorite liturgical song?
Yung gusto ko yun, self-surrender. Yes.
Your life's Bible verse?
Always binabalikan ko yung natawag mo na ako, pinaagi sa imong ngalan.
Okay.
Isaiah. I think that is Isaiah 41 or 43. Nalimutan ko na tuloy.
Aside from Our Lady of Mount Carmel, favorite Marian title?
I grew up with Mother of Perpetual Help sa bahay.
Your
Kay
patron saint?
Saint Mark, kasi ka-birthday ko siya April 25.
Meat or vegetables?
Both.
Sweet or savory?
Both.
Lauds or vespers?
Both.
Facebook or YouTube?
Facebook ako.
TV or radio?
TV ako.
Province or city?
Both.
Beach or pool?
Beach, syempre.
Read books or watch a movie?
Both.
Animal or pet that you love?
Dog pa rin. Dog.
What is your pet peeve?
Ano yan?
Hindi ko rin alam. One trait that people loves about you?
Most friendship do ako. Friendly do ako. Sabi nila.
So what is love?
Ano gusto mo na definition sa love? Love is... Love? What is love? Para naman sa ano yan, slam book? What is it? Tas, have you been in love? Ganun ang susunod niyan.
Sige na. If God is here, what will you tell Him or her?
I love the Lord. I love you, Lord.
If given a chance to talk to the Pope, what would you tell him?
Hi, Holy Father. Pleased to meet you.
If given a chance to talk with a 15-year-old Toots, what life advice would you tell him?
So naku. Sasabihin ko sa kanya, pursue your dream. Go lang.
Lumagpas na yata tayo ng 5 minutes, pero it's nice to know you, Father Toots.
Thank you, Sister
Galing.
Happy.
So mga kahabits,
Nervous ako.
ay, you see, ninervyos nga pa talaga si Father Toots sa ating 50 in 5 or more na segment. So hinga na muna, Father Toots, dahil magsisimula pa lang ang ating Boka Bokasyon right after the quick break.
Mga kahabits, stay tuned only here in your weekly information and inspiration companion. This is
The Habits.
So, doon sa high school life ko, mas nakita ko yung masaya pala, maganda pala yung priestly life, gano'n.
Wow. Pero, yes, you said that you were an altar server, sumasama ka sa bukid, sa mga service, tapos you were looking at the priest na parang, like one day, I will be there at the center.
Talaga, oo.
So, how did,
Mientras la economía real, la que crea trabajo, está en crisis, cuánta gente sin trabajo, los mercados financieros nunca han estado tan inflados como ahora. Qué lejos está el mundo de las grandes finanzas de la vida de la mayoría de las personas. Las finanzas, si no están reguladas, se convierten en pura especulación, animada por algunas políticas monetarias. Esta situación es insostenible, es peligrosa. Para evitar que los pobres vuelvan a pagar consecuencias, hay que regular estrictamente la especulación financiera. Especulación. Quiero subrayar el término. Que las finanzas sean instrumentos de servicio, instrumentos para servir a la gente y cuidar la casa común. Todavía estamos a tiempo de poner en marcha un proceso de cambio global para practicar una economía diferente, más justa, inclusiva, sostenible, que no deje a nadie atrás. Hagámoslo y recemos para que los responsables del mundo financiero colaboren con los gobiernos a fin de regular los mercados financieros para proteger a los ciudadanos en peligro.
We are blessed, blessed 100-fold, the cross of Jesus Christ in our holy shores.
Is now 500 years, awesome to behold. He has made us all new. We belong to His fold.
The gospel is a blessing, but also a mission.
And we're back here in the habits. A while ago, Father Toots bravely answered our 50 questions in 5 minutes. Pero may isa siyang hindi nasagot. What's your pet peeve, Father Toots?
Yung yung mga nagmamarunong.
Wow.
Ayoko nun.
Aray. Now, thank you. Now, let's continue our Boka Bokasyon with Father Toots. Kahabit, Father Toots, for your first question, who is Father Toots before entering the religious life? Ano pong klaseng buhay ang meron kayo and mga pinagkakaabalahan ninyo before? Ano po ang inyong naging college degree at naranasan nyo bang makapagtrabaho? Ano yung naging trabahong yun? Parang ang dami yata yung tanong. Pero what happened? Ay, anong nangyari
okay.
or who were you? Who you?
24 years old ako nung pumasok ako sa Carmelite Order.
wow.
So, nagtapos ako sa university, sa Davao City, ng AB English.
Ay.
Pero meron akong maraming units sa philosophy. And then, nakapagtrabaho ako sa isang, parang NGO, ecumenical group ng church, gumagawa ng organizing, gumagawa ng education training in Davao City. So, I was a former executive secretary ng Mindanao Ecumenical Union of Seminarians or MEUS, at saka ako din yung campaign officer at International Solidarity Officer ng Ecumenical Alliance of Nationalist Church Organizations in Mindanao. That's I started working at age 19. I was still in my 4th year college, I think. And then until mga 5 years din ako nag-work sa Davao City po. But ang aking tawag dito, reach would be the whole of Mindanao.
Wow.
Ganun, sister.
Parang ang dami yata. Yeah, 24 years. I think that's
But
the...
enjoy ako.
Yes. And then you work in that field. So, proceed na po tayo sa next question. Looking back on your younger years as a student or teenager, did you already have a calling to enter the religious life? What or who made you enter the consecrated life?
Okay. Ang family ko ay hindi religious. What I mean, they don't go to mass every Sunday.
Okay.
Kaya hindi ako makarelate yung pag-pray ng rosary, ang Angelus, yung lola, ganon. Pero ang alam ko sa bahay, meron kaming crucifix, meron kaming Santo Niño de Praga, at saka Mother Perpetual Help sa altar. So, nagpipray, pumupunta kami sa simbahan, magsindi ng kandila, ganon. Pero naging altar server ako sa aming parish sa Davao City, Santo Rosario Parish sa Turil, Davao City.
Turil.
At nagkapag-aral ako sa St. Peter's College of Turil with the Sisters of the Presentation of Mary, PM Sisters. Kaya mukhang doon, kung balikan ko, doon nagsimula yung parang attraction ko sa missionary life. Tapos, siyempre kung altar boy ka, kasama ka sa mga piyesta sa mga bukid, kasama si aming parish priest, assistant parish priest. So doon siguro nagsimula ang aking parang attraction at first, and then ang wish ko pa nga, sister, I was serving in the mass, sabi ko, someday I will be at the center. Parang
wow.
I would be presiding a mass. Parang doon ang, so doon sa high school life ko, mas nakita ko yung masaya pala, maganda pala yung priestly life, gano'n.
Wow. Pero, yes, you said that you were an altar server, sumasama ka sa bukid, sa mga service, tapos you were looking at the priest na parang, like one day, I will be there at the center.
Talaga, oo.
So, ano pong nangyari after that? How that desire or that dream or that ambition become a reality?
Oo.
How was it nourished na pala?
Nagsisiban ako araw-araw, sister. Naku, kahit hindi ako nakatoka mag-serve, parang naging bahagi yon na I go to mass every morning. Naging officer ako sa altar boys. And then, 7 kami magbabarkada. Siyempre, nag-vocation campaign, search in. Lahat, pinatus ko, lahat pumapasa naman, no? Then later on talaga, I think this is now the time na papasok ako ng seminary. Out of the 7 na magbabarkada namin, 2 kami na pumasok.
Talaga?
pumasok kami, I was a former diocesan seminary sa St. Francis Xavier College Seminary sa Davao City. But only stayed there for 2 years and a half.
Okay.
And then, lumabas ako, nag-aral na ako sa Cotabato City, sa Notre Dame University for 1 semester. And then, bumalik ako sa Davao City. At doon, sa aking exposure sa work, may marami akong na-met na mga religious congregations and orders.
So, right after you graduated college, nagtrabaho ka?
Yes po, opo, sister. So, enjoy ako sa work kasi nagbibigay ka ng lectures, seminars, kasi para may gift ako sa pagtuturo. Gusto ko yun, organizing, ganun. Kaya na-enjoy ko talaga yun. And then, nag-process retreat kami, yung staff, and then, parang doon ko nag-enjoy na kasi ako sa work parang doon ko na-recover ulit yung aking desire and passion to become, this time, a missionary. So, religious group ang hahanapin ko at maging pari, sister.
Wow! So, kahabit Father Toots, how did you learn or how did you know the Carmelite order? And what made you say, I found my home in OCarm now?
Okay, so, siyempre, I was working with the ecumenical group, with BCCCO, so sa Socio-Pastoral Institute, ito yung mga nakakasalamuha ko with the different congregation of sisters, mga pastors, kasi ecumenical na priests, mga diocesan, mga religious. Sa isang meeting, nakilala ko yung mga Carmelites from Agusan. Kaya, Carmelites, diba, dapat mongha sila. Meron pa ng Carmelite na mga pare. Then, I get to know them. At doon ko nakita na yung kanilang, yung aking mga values, aking mga principles, nakita ko, principles din pala ng mga Carmelites at saka mga values
So,
like justice and peace and integrity of creation, lay empowerment, basic Christian community, church of the poor. So, na-expose ako at a very early age, ito yung gusto ko, itong ginagawa nila. So, marami akong inattend ng mga seminars, mga trainings, at kasama ko yung mga OCarm from Agusan. Kaya sabi ko, someday I'll be joining them. In 1989, nag-aspirant ako sa kanila. And then, naging postulant ako in 1990, dito na sa Manila. Pero nag-aspirant ako, I was still based in Davao and working, but naging aspirant ako sa OCarm na in 1989.
Wow! So, parang syempre, you were in that organization, so you met many congregations.
Yes,
diba?
opo.
But when you met the OCarm, parang, yun nga, sinabi parang swak.
Na-swak,
yung, yung mga values. So eventually, you found your home in OCarm, right?
Hindi ko talaga akalain. Yes, sister.
So what helped you, or who helped you, or what made you decide that I will leave everything, I will leave my work, and I will enter OCarm?
Well, okay. Di ba dating diocesan ako sa college seminary sa Davao City. So sabi ko, wala na, okay na ito. Nag-enjoy ako sa work. Then all of a sudden, na-met ko ang mga OCarm. Nagkaroon ako ng retreat. Nag-retreat kami yung sa group. Process retreat ang tawag doon. At very instrumental sa akin yung mga taong tumulong, yung aking kasama sa gawain. Tapos ang ng retreat namin doon ay nag-facilitate si Sister Genevieve Damaso, OND. Oo. Nandiyan pa siya ngayon. Sa Basilan siya na-assign ngayon. At saka si Nonoy Cabasares, isang kaibigan din. Tapos, naging instrumento sila Sister Susan Bolaño, I have to name her kasi naging bahagi din sila. Sila Sister Toots Aranya, OND sila, at saka si Sister Adele Nayal, OND, Sister Celine Dumas, OND, pero namatay sila. At saka yung mga barkada ko din, naging kaibigan ko din yung mga missionaries of the Assumption sa Davao City. Sila dito encourage, Toots, if you have sila, Sister Bing Alpas, MA, Toots, if you think you have that calling, huwag kang matakot, just go. Kaya na-encourage din ako.
Wow.
Tinulungan ako ng mga madre, yes. At saka mga PM sisters also.
Wow. Parang dami ring naging instrument. Like, they paved that way. And actually, parang they were there at your back to encourage you and to strengthen you and really to help you decide. So, wow, that's nice. So how about the challenges you faced as consecrated that you can share to us?
Marami akong sa aking 25-year ministry as a Carmelite priest ordained and 29 years as a professed Carmelite. Marami napaka-challenges. Ang first assignment ko sa Negros, Escalante for 7 years, sister. And then napunta ako dito sa Manila, and then napunta ako ng Cebu, bumalik ko na Manila. Naniniwala kasi ako na ang mission assignment is a way that God is telling me na you are there, I am sending you. Nag-enjoy ako, but it's not really a perfect ministry, no. Andyan talaga yung mga tensions between community life and pastoral life. Then nabigyan ako ng opportunity to serve the province. Naging provincial ako for 2 terms at still nasa provincial council. Kasama ka sa pag-build up ng province at saka ng mga communities. Challenging talaga, but alam mo, Sister Happy, napagod ako. Nakakapagod, yes. Pero hindi pa talaga dumating, magto 29 years na ako na profess. Napagod, yes. Nawala ng gana, medyo. Pero hindi pa talaga dumating, sana hindi darating, yung time na pinagsisihan ko ang desisyon ko. Diba, sometimes, ayoko na, parang, hindi dumating. Siguro, at naniniwala ako, hindi siguro, ito na yung grace of God.
Yes, I also believe in that. Yes to that.
Hindi, parang nagsisi, unainggit, never talaga. Pag ma-reunion kami sa mga kaklase ko sa high school, siyempre sa iba, mga big time na, no? 2-3 ang kotse, mga anak nila, mga professional na. Tapos tinanong ako, Father Toots, hindi ka ba nainggit sa amin? Hindi. May mga bagay-bagay na pwede magawa ng married person na hindi natin magawa mga consecrated persons. Pero marami din tayo pwede magawa na hindi din nila pwede nagagawa. Parang yun lang.
So really, that's the grace of God. I believe also in that. So ito naman po, gusto nila malaman, what keeps you in continuing your vocation, in your apostolate, and in your faith?
Siyempre yung vocation naman natin is dapat in-nurture natin. No? Ang prayer ko lang talaga na, Lord, tinawag mo ako. Kung gusto ko, ito ang gusto ko, Lord, pero thy will be done pa rin. Kaya nung, di ba, sinabi ko na, nung nasa ER na ako, I was with COVID, infected with COVID, sabi ko, Lord, this is it, ito na ba? 54 lang, pwede ba? Di ba sabi ko 70? So, I always trust in the Lord. In everything I do, Sister Happy, I always invoke the Spirit, Lord, inspire me, guide me, use me. Because I had said yes, and ikaw na, please do the rest. And it works. So, may mga bagay, sister, sa buhay ko na mukhang hindi ko kaya, pero nakayanan ko. So, sabi ko, nakayanan ko, saan galing yung energy or hindi lang talent or capacity Parang the Lord is telling me na, okay, do it. So, I always focus on the Lord and call on Him. So, prayer at saka consultation with the Holy Spirit. Yun ang ko. Sister.
Wow, really inspiring.
Wala ganun talaga
Now, nakita ko lang, while listening to you telling your story, na you see you entered in the seminary, lumabas ka, nag-aral uli, tapos yung mga ganon, parang you see the hand of God guiding you to where you should be. Tapos yun nga, yung na-meet mo sila yung OCarm, tapos nakita mo yung parang magkapareho kayo ng values, and then you decided, you entered, and the grace of God was always there. Wow. Wow.
Ay, yun ang pinanghawakan ko At saka surely ikaw din. Wala tayo ano lang tayo. Pero mahal tayo ng Diyos, minahal tayo. Yun.
Yes. And that also helps me, actually helps all of us, na to keep on believing that there is the grace in the call of God. Siyempre, kasi pag walang grasya, wala rin tayo dito.
Wala din. Oh.
Yeah, but I always see that in, hindi naman tayo elderly pa, pero those sisters, those consecrated persons that I meet, that they have already celebrated 50, 60, 75 years of consecrated life, is the same thing that they are saying. It's really the grace of God, and it's the fidelity of God.
Yes.
Yes.
Surely. Yeah.
Kaya nga, I just celebrated my 25 years. I could say it's a celebration of God's fidelity. And that's really in our life as consecrated persons.
True,
Wow.
Sister Happy.
So last words for our kahabits who are having desires to enter the religious life, or to anyone who faces difficulties in answering God's call for them to become consecrated persons.
Ganito, sister. Adi, syempre, when I grow up, I want to be like this, like that. There's no problem with that, no? Siguro ganitong masasabi ko, yung mga nagsisearch, naguguluhan, nagsisearch sila, we have to live a meaningful life. Kaya I always say na, the purpose of life is not to be happy, but the pursuit of meanings. Kasi if it is meaningful to you, and you will live that life meaningfully, makahulugan, at makabuluhan, relevant, you will find joy. You will always be happy. So, huwag matakot. Alam mo, para bang ang consecrated person ay, naku, ang hirap, hindi kaya. Mahirap din naman ang married life. Lahat naman lahat ng stages of life, alam natin yan. Pero, maganda ang consecrated life. Masaya, maganda. Kaya, if it is a calling, if you are called, I believe in that. Diba, sabi ko, dumating na ayaw ko na, ay bakit pumasok ako ulit at andito pa rin ako. Kaya, the Lord has been, has called us, has been generous, has been kind to us. And then, that's why, for those who are searching, those who are looking for meaning in life, try the consecrated life. It's not a perfect life. It's if it is lived sincerely and with authenticity, you will find joy. Yun ang advice ko sa mga nagsisearch, sister.
Wow, actually may quotable quote ako, Father.
Ano yun, sister?
Live a meaningful life.
Yes. Mahalaga.
Yes. So now it's time for you to invite them to be an OCarm.
Oh.
It's your chance to promote. Saan po nila kayo pwedeng kontakin, and go ahead, Father.
Okay, mga binata dyan, mga young professionals, yung mga hindi pa siguro nakakita ng mga gusto nila sa buhay. Ang Order of Carmelites po ay isang ancient order sa simbahan. More than 800 years old na po kami. Pero dumating kami sa Pilipinas 1958 lang. So, kami po ay OCarm, mga pari. At ang mission po namin ay kung ano din ang kailangan ng simbahan. So, we are at the service of the kingdom and of the church. And so, you try, if you want to live a meaningful life, try the OCarm. Marami naman parang pupunta ka ng palengke o grocery, ang daming available dyan. Pero ang Tatak Carmelite, Tatak OCarm, pwede nyo itry. Pwede nyo po ako makontak dito sa office namin sa AMRSP or sa Facebook. Ganun na lang po, sister.
Wow. Thank you, Father Toots. Siyempre, may hashtag ako niya. Ayun nga, yung quotable quote, live a meaningful life. Sa mga sinabi niyo po kanina, you mentioned some names that these were the instruments, that these were those who paved that way, and thanks to them, because really you also honor them in your life, because it's through them that parang they led you to OCarm. They led you to that place that God really calls you to be. And really live a meaningful life. Para din naman yan sa akin. And I think para naman sa ating lahat.
Yan.
So ayan, dito na nga po nagtatapos ang ating Boka Bokasyon interview. Maraming salamat po sa pagtanggap ng aming Boka Bokasyon Challenge Kahabit Father Toots. So, kumusta po ang pakiramdam na mag-share sa iyong vocation story?
Di syempre, sinishare ko lang ito, sister, sa aking sa mga private, sa mga search-in, pero iba pala, no, pag nasa live, ano ka na.
Yes.
Anyway, maraming salamat din, Kahabit Sister Happy. Feeling ko hindi lang ako o tayo ang gustong marinig ng ating mga kahabits dito sa ating Habit Spoken's Boka Bokasyon Challenge. Kaya naman, we want to hear from you. Let us know what you think. May kilala ba kayong consecrated person na gusto nyong sumalang sa ating Boka Bokasyon Challenge? For comments and topic suggestions, visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/amrsp.org. And while you're there sa aming page, like and follow us para ma-reach na natin ang 15,000 followers mark.
At Kahabits, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, AMRSP Media, where you can also catch our amazing contents. Konti na lang at malapit na tayong mag-monetize. At sundan nyo rin kami sa TV Maria, free channel every Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. with replays every Thursdays at 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. Kaya mga Kahabits, keep supporting us and let's stay connected.
Again, thank you very much for chatting with us here in Habit Spoken and for listening to my vocation story. Next week po, we will bring you to the Archdiocese of Cáceres for a very special The Habits Tambayan prayer concert episode for Mary. So join us again as we explore consecrated life, the church, the world, and the society. This has been your Kahabit, Father Toots Buenafe of the Order of Carmelites.
Thank you very much also, Father Toots, for being with us today and sharing your vocation, at sa inyong mga Kahabits for joining us on our weekly religious routine. See you on our next episode. I am your Kahabit, Sister Happy Wandercilio of the Daughters of St. Anne, signing off from your weekly inspiration and information companion. We have been
The Habits!